Hey, hello everybody. Happy Saturday. It's getting late. I'm in the airport, obviously, right? We're catching a flight back home yet tonight, and I just wanted to get on here really quick and kind of wrap up my weekend and talk about how I manage kind of keeping it as healthy as possible while we're on the go, and just give you guys some tips, okay? Guys, if you're getting on here with me live, if you're catching a red live up over there in the corner, please just type live in the comments. Let me know where you're watching from. If you're catching me later on and it says was live up there in the corner, that just means you're catching me on the replay. I'm going to try not to get too many faces of people in here that maybe don't want to be seen on a Facebook Live. But anyway, and if you're catching the was live, just type replay in the comments. Let me know where you're watching from. My name is Jan. I do live in Nebraska. I'm in Seattle right now, getting ready to head back home after a wonderful training session, leadership retreat, we call it, where we got poured into by some great people, learned a lot of new things, and just really excited now to get on home and put things to work. But hey, Mimi. Like I wanted to say, hey Jewel, thank you so much. I appreciate it. So, one of the biggest things I try to do is I try to keep my fluids going while I'm gone. Okay, it can be difficult because when you're traveling on the airplane, I don't like to get up and down a whole bunch when the airplane's going, and it is a 3.5 hour flight out here, but I try to make sure that I'm well hydrated before I leave home. Thank you, Michelle. And that's one of the big things anyway with life. So you just got to stay hydrated. Then on the travel days, typically I'm a little light on it. So once I get there, I try to kick it back up again. One thing that I do always take is our supplements, guys. I always take enough to get me through the weekend because, it's like everything else. If you're not staying consistent, it just doesn't work, because your body just cannot. It's back and forth. It's almost like yo-yo dieting, okay? Only you're yo-yo dieting every few days, if that makes sense. Instead of, like, oh, I'm going to do this diet for a month and this diet for a month, you're yo-yo dieting every few days. So the best thing is to just keep with it if you can. Now, we ate, it was late when we got here on Thursday. We did eat fairly late, but I picked something. We went to a local restaurant out there. I had like a salmon, something like that, high protein, those, okay? Now, that's something that you can do depending on what's available. Now, in the trainings and stuff, that's when lunch is provided for us, but we don't get to choose what we're having. And that's okay too, because you can figure it out. So like day one, we did pizza. Now, in a situation like that, they did have salads, so I made sure I ate plenty of the lettuce salad, the green salad, and like the pizza, it was a really, really thin crust on the bottom. It did have a big, wide crust at the top. So what you can do with something like that is thank you so much, Melissa, either take the toppings completely off and only eat the toppings, or where it's really thin crust like that, a lot of times I'll just go ahead and eat the crust, but not the big, wide, thick crust at the top. What was under the toppings was very, very thin, so I was comfortable doing that. Now, you have to kind of judge yourself. If those types of carbs are going to bother you, then you want to kind of avoid them. Peel the toppings off, just eat the toppings, okay? Then last night we did a recognition dinner, and I did get to choose what I wanted. And we were doing burgers, and I had a great portobello mushroom burger, and they served it to me on a lettuce flat top, okay? So that's a great option. Hey, Carol. Hi, Millie. How are you? So, sorry, I'm still chugging. I'm catching up. So, like I was saying, then today we did like a taco bar, which, okay, so you've got taco shells. That doesn't mean you have to eat them. And we could do a salad type thing where, you know, there was meat, plenty of meat, the cheeses, the guacamole, the salsa. What else was there? Trying to think. Some onions, the different meats. There was chicken and steak both. So that was a great option. There was also like some, I'm not sure what it was actually, but it was good. You know, I just added it on. I didn't really use the salsa. Hi, Debbie. But I added this on, and there was some black beans in it, which, you know, a few black beans isn't going to kill you, okay? Black beans are very high in protein, so that's not a bad thing, and they're a lot of fiber, so think about that. But then, like tonight, I'm here. Sometimes when I'm out like this, especially when I'm coming through TSA, one of my bags got pulled going through TSA. They had to go through my bag. I had, I had a bottle of supplements in there, and it wasn't a liquid bottle. It was a powder. One of our canisters. It was a full canister. Hey, Lee, thanks for tuning in, guys. Guys, if you're getting on here with me live, let me know. So, but they pulled it, and that still always makes me nervous. It always makes me nervous when I'm going through those, and my anxiety gets up there, and my tummy kind of goes bonkers. And so once I make it through TSA, I feel the relief comes, but my tummy still stays upset for a while. So I just decided, you know what, I'm going to listen to my body tonight. I'm not really hungry. I needed to get some more water in, and I actually decided I was just going to use my pink punch tonight and kind of calm my nerves a little bit and just refocus here before the trip home. So we should be boarding here in about an hour or so. Hi, Sandy. Hi, Carol. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Diana, hello. So like I was saying, guys, there's always something, or generally always something, that you can do or eat or whatever that you can find a way, okay? I do it all the time. I love the fact that, you know, I stay consistent with my products, number one. I stay consistent with my water intake. I stay consistent with listening to my body, okay? Listening to, am I hungry? Do I really want that? And, you know, after I sat down here, after I got through TSA, I had a couple of, and I ate them. I threw them away, I guess. But I had, let me find them. I had brought along some chomps. Hi, my love. See you tomorrow. Brought along some chomps, and some donkeys with me too, guys. So if I do get hungry, on the flight home, I'm prepared that way, okay? Because they always give you snacks. Hi, Julie. So like I was saying, it's doable, and I managed to do it for the most part, like I said. And I think you just have to listen to your body. The airport does have a lot of options, guys, you know, and obviously you can't bring water through, so you have to buy your water, or I could have probably filled up a water jug, but my water jugs aren't the cleanest, and I just didn't feel like going in somewhere and washing it up. I just taking them home, but I'll refill this one if I need to. But, you know, everything's so expensive in the airport anyway, so I try to avoid that if I can. But like I was saying, guys, consistency is key. I stuck with it. I'll get home tomorrow sometime and right back into work mode for the rest of the week. So, guys, I'd love to have you join me in the group, though. My group is Diabetic Eats with Jan and Dave. It's where I share recipes, I share tips, a more natural way to possibly eat and avoid some of the things that we don't want in our lives, or we maybe shouldn't have in our lives. Artificial flavors, artificial colors, those types of things. So, and I share information like that in my group. Now, if you'd like to be in that group, Diabetic Eats with Jan and Dave, search it on the Facebook bar or drop group in the comments, and I will get you added. Here comes my travel buddy. She's eating. So anyway, like I was saying, I'd love to have you join us over there. Guys, if you need information about my pink drink, drop pink in the comments. I'll get back to you about that because it's been a lifesaver for us. Dave and I both. It's been a lifesaver. Saved our lives, I'm sure. Changed our lives drastically. So, you know, the stress of going through TSA would have probably really gotten to me. But with these products, it helps a bunch. Now, did it take it all away? No, it didn't. Did it help? Yes, it did. So, guys, that's all I got for tonight. I hope you have a great rest of your Saturday, a great Sunday tomorrow. And like I said, if you need to be in the group, drop group in the comments. If you need information on this, you know what to do. So, I'm going to bug on out of here. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Smile. Pass that smile on.